this is JavaScript page redirection and object. So we are going to start with the reading cookies. Normally in the previous chapter I've already explained to you how to write cookie, but right now the cookies we have already stored on our browser. But right now we are going to start by reading cookies. So before we start, let's log into our FTP account. We log in with our host name, our username. This information you can find it in the email that we sent you during the course of your registration. So if everything is right, your host, you can get that when you log into your Ewebtutor account. So if everything works well, then it should take you to your FTP account. So here you click on www directory. So these are the files that you've created before, but right now we are going to create a new file. But before that time you should know that our function.html page is the page that we use in creating our cookies in the last chapter. This is the page that we use in writing our cookies in the last chapter. So let's open this page again. You can see this is the code that we use in creating our cookies. And with this code now, there is a form, and that form has a text field. And whenever we supply any information, any data inside the text field, then the cookies is being set. So right now we are going to use what we are going to learn right now, the cookies that we set with the form. Let's open the site. Let's open function.html. Can you see it? You ask for the name, the cookies to be set. So I can say Ade. So if I say set cookie, it told me that I've set my cookie to Ade, and the cookie key is name, the cookie value is Ade. So right now, how do I retrieve what I've set? So that is what we are going to learn now. So before that, just create a new file, name it function2.html. So save this file. So right now, with this code now, you should be able to retrieve the cookies that you set. Right now, the cookies that we just set right now, we set what? Ade. We just set. So how do we retrieve this cookie? So that is what we are going to do now. So let's run this code. So function2.html. So in another page, another tab, let me open my function2.html. function2.html. So once I click on this button now, an on-click event is associated with this button, and when I click on this button now, what will happen? When I click on this button, is going to open a function called read cookie. And what is the function read cookie? These are what the statement is going to run. So that means they create a submit button, they put an on-click event, they associate an on-click event with it, and whenever I click on the on-click event, it's open a function read cookie, and this statement is going to be run. So let's see what happens. Once I click on get cookie, what will I get? Can you see? I get all cookies name Ade. So that means the cookies I set with function.html, I can get it right now. And this is what happened in your web page. When you log in with your username and password, once they save your username on your system and your password, they save it on your system using the set cookie. By the time you are trying to log in another time to that particular site, it will not ask you for those information again. It will just use this get cookie. It's going to use this get cookie function to get your information from your browser, because this Ade now is already stored in this browser. This Mozilla I'm using is already stored there. So the information that is already stored there, you now use it to log you in automatically. So that's why you find out that when you go to gmail.com and you sign in, by the time you close the browser and you try to relaunch the browser again, by the time you click on your user, you supply your username, by the time you try to go to gmail.com again, it won't take you to the login page. It just take you directly to your profile, because your username and your password is already stored on that your browser. So the system will not need this information again. It will just take you directly to your login page. So this is how you are going to get your cookie. So let me explain what happened with the code. What happened is this: we inside our JavaScript we have a function, and that function name is create cookie. And I told you a function cannot work without you calling a function. So this function will not work when you run function2.html. So the only thing that you are going to have is what is present in your body, and what is that? Your form. Inside this form now there is a button, submit button. That is why when you launch when you launch your function2.html page, the only thing you see is a submit button that has the value of get cookie, and that's why you are saying get cookie. But when you click on the button, then immediately the button is associated with an on-click event. That is, when you click, it should open the function read cookie. So the next thing is, once I click on this button now, what will happen is going to run function read cookie. And what is inside function read cookie? I declare a variable called all cookies. And this all cookies, what did I store inside it? I stored document.cookie. That is any cookie that I have saved. Document.cookie means any cookies that I have saved is equals to my documents.cookie. So that means whatever cookie I save with function.html, like for example now I save add with it now, that add is my what? Is my document.cookie. So and that document.cookie, what did it happen? It store it as all values, all cookies. So that means whenever I call all cookies now, all cookies refer to as what? The cookie I create. So if I create add now and I set cookie, my document.cookie is what? Is add. So just know my all cookies will be equivalent to what? Document called cookie, which is the same thing as add. So if I change this cookie name and I say it's Shegun, my document.cookie is what? Is Shegun. And what will be my all cookie? My all cookie will also be Shegun. So what did I ask you to do in this next line? I asked you to alert all cookies is all cookie. So if I set under my function.html, if I set all cookies as Shegun, by the time I'm trying to retrieve here, what will I retrieve? I will retrieve all cookies Shegun. I will receive Shegun here. Can you see what is happening? So I'm going to retrieve all cookies here as Shegun, because my all cookies now is document.cookie, which is the same thing as what I set here, which is Shegun, and that is why it's Shegun over there. So right now that is this line. So right now when I click on get cookie, now I have name Shegun. I have Shegun. But this is not the only statement that is inside this code. There are other statements. So let's see what those statements does. So here now I've already explained this. So right now I have cookie array is equals to all cookie dot split. So what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to look at it now. When I set my cookie, when I say Shegun setting cookie, this cookie key, whatever is here before this is equals to is what referred to as cookie key, and whatever is here is what referred to as a cookie value. So this cookie key and this cookie value, they are in an array. They are in form of an array. The cookie key and the cookie value are in form of an array. So if I want to get this cookie key separately and I want to get this cookie value separately, I have to know that they are in form of an array. So I have to look for a way of splitting them. But anytime I want to retrieve it, if I want to retrieve it, like when I write in this statement, when I say all cookie equals document called cookie, this document called cookie will combine my key and my value to combine them together. So that is why when I'm retrieving it, that is why I have the key and the value. So but how do I split this so that the cookie key is going to be separate and the cookie value will be separate? For you to have more knowledge on this, let's go to the cookie that is stored by my browser in maybe my Gmail account. Let's go to the cookie. How will you access this? Just go to this file, go to option, go to security, save password. So here now there is a cookie, and what does the cookie do? I call a cookie, I call it site. So this is where all my site, the site I have access, this is where they stores. And I call a cookie, I call it username. So just know this username refer to as what? The cookie key. This site refer to as what? The cookie key. And another thing that we have is the password. This password feed refer to as what? The cookie key. So each of these cookie key site has a value under the username market and has a value under the password. So that means all these, the market you see here, market, admin, Ewebtutor, Oracle company, all these that you see here, they are value of what? Of cookie key username. All these that you see here, they are value of the key password. So this site, the username, the password, they signify key, cookie key, while whatever is present in them signify the cookie value. So what I'm trying to say is this name that you have here, this, when you set the cookie, the name that you have here signify the cookie key, and this checkbox signify the cookie value. So it's only the value that can change, but the name that you have already put there, which is the cookie key, the key cannot change. But if I want the value to change again, I'll just change it to another thing, Matthew. I'll just change it to another thing. So here you will see that this name is still name. It's only the value that will be changing. But if I want this name, if I want to use another thing, maybe like username, all I need to do is go back to the function.html page. So here now I will say document.cookie. This is where I set my document.cookie, and I set it as name, and I say cookie value, what the person enter. But right now I can turn this thing to username. So right now everywhere I see name, I will turn it to username. So whenever I set my cookie now, to set it as what? Username and the cookie value. But what I want to do is I want to set it as name. Let it just be like that. So now when I'm retrieving it, I'm retrieving the document.cookie because I have set the document.cookie here. I've set it in this code. But right now I'm retrieving it. So whatever I get in whatever I set in document.cookie, I'm now storing it as all cookie. That's why I asked it to alert the all cookie. So whatever. So just know the alert of this all cookie now will now be it will now be in form of an array. It will now be the key and the value. They are in form of an array. So I now want to split them so that the key will be separate, the value will be separate. So that is why I need the other code here. So what happened? So I said get all the cookie pair in an array, because I already know that this all cookie now, they are in array. I know that they will always come in array, because here when you are setting them, you set document.cookie equals to name, you place them in an array. You place them here when you are setting it in an array. So when you are getting them here, they are also getting an array. So that is why you have this. They are also getting an array. So right now I now want to split them together. So that is why I use this code, that all cookie dot split is a function in JavaScript to split things. All cookies that you know you've already declared that document.cookie is equals to all cookies, which the all cookies now contain a key and a value. So to split the key and the value, to split it, then you are going to use the all cookie which contain the array dot split. So this statement now we use it to split them. So right now our cookie array, if we say cookies, normally we are still going to talk a little bit more about array in the next chapters. So I will not really go into deep, but I will just explain as simple as possible. But by the time you get to the next chapter and you are talking about the array, you will have a lot of you will be able to understand this topic better. But for right now, I will just limit this topic as I will just limit this topic to cookies. But in the next chapter, with the array knowledge that you have, then you'll be able to understand this code better. But right now, just know that each of these cookies, these all cookies now contain the key and the value. But for me to split them so that the cookie key will be separate and the cookie value will be separate, that's why I use all cookies, which is contain the array dot split, to split what contains both the key and the value. So right now, but just know that right now my cookies array now contain the cookie key, because all cookie contain the cookie key and the cookie value. But now I split it, so the cookie array now contain the split of the cookie key and the cookie array. So if I now say the cookie keys is the one that starts, is the first one, while the cookie value is the next one. You can see from here when you set it, the cookie key is what starts and the cookie value is what end. So this cookie script, it has an automatic index number. Since it's an array, it has an automatic index number of 0, and the next one has an automatic index number of 1. The next one will have 2, the next one 3, like that up to infinity. But for now, we don't understand what an index key means. But in the next chapter, by the time we talk about arrays, you'll be able to understand the meaning of an index key in the next chapter. But for now, just know that anything that starts an array
has an index key of 0, the next one has an index key of 1, the next one, next one, next one, like that. It keep on increasing. The index key keep on increasing. The more it moves from one place to the next stage, it keep on increasing. So just note that. So right now, I've told you that all cookies represent your arrays, and that array contains two things. It contains the keys and the values. So these are the two things that your all cookies represent. So right now you have said that all cookies should be split. That's this code. It should be split. So that means you are splitting the keys and you are splitting the value. So the cookies array now, since you say is equals to the cookies that is split, then that your cookies array contain what? The split of the key and the split of the value. So to refer to this key, you will now use cookies array, because this key it's of index of what? Of 0. You now use the cookies key split of 0. Then that means your name is equals to the cookie keys of index of 0, and your value is what? Cookie the split. What split of what? Of 1. As we are now that thing, that will now be the split of 2. So that means we said our name is equals to split of 0 and our value is equals to split of 1. So that is the index. But to increase from 1 to 2, that's why we make use of the for loop, which I believe I've already explained the for loop. So right now we now say our key is name, whatever is there, and our value is value. So right now what we did here is we retrieve all the keys, we retrieve the cookies, but these cookies forms an array that cannot be broken because they contain both the keys and the value. But this code here now, we use it to split that array into separate entity, into the keys separate and into the values separate, and we use an alert to bring out those separate things. So we use this one to call the keys out and the values. We use it to bring them out, because right now with all these all cookies here now, we know that they are the same thing. They combine together, both the keys and the value. But right now we use this split method to bring out the keys out and the value. But you may not really understand the logic now. I believe you understand this yourself. But all this way, how we split it, making use of an array, you may truly not understand right now. But in the next chapter, we are going to explain with the knowledge you have. By then you come back to this code, you'll be able to explain better of what we try to do here. So that's on that. So what now, you know how to retrieve your cookies now. So like right now you can use function.html to set a cookie. Like right now we set a cookie as Matthew, so we can use function2.html code. So once you just click on get cookie, then whatever cookie you set, name is Matthew, and here you say key is name and value is Matthew, because here now you say all cookies name Matthew, we'll put them in an array. But in the second code here now we split them, so making use of the split statement. So but right now we have know how to set cookies and we have know how to retrieve cookies. But another thing that you can do is you can extend the life of your cookie beyond the current browser sections by setting an expiring date and saving the expiring date with the cookies. This can be done by setting the expiring attribute to a date and time. What we are trying to say in essence is this: I have told you that when you log into Facebook, I have told you log in with your username and password, and as you click on login, the username and password is stored on your browser. So when next you on your system and you on the same browser and you go to www.gmail.com, you don't need to supply your username and password again. Automatically, because your username and password is already stored on your system, on your browser, automatically you will be logging in directly. Once you click on gmail.com, it will not take you to the login page, it will just take you directly to your profile page. Why? Because your username and password is already present on that system. It has already been stored in form of cookies on that system, and that username and password will have used itself automatically to log you in without even you yourself knowing. So that is what we refer to as cookies. But it's possible that even though you've stored your username and password, let's say for example now you log in this day 1, You supply your username and password and you click on login, and later by the time you finish in Gmail, you do not sign up, you close your browser, you now left, you do not use the system for the next 3 months. So right now you can use it to set an expiring date. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that even though you log into your Gmail account, let's now say maybe you now come back around maybe a month's time, as in maybe 3 months time, if when Gmail is setting their cookies, if they have set it that this cookies should expire a month in a month's time, and you come back 3 months time, even though your cookies, your information are stored on your system, it's still not going to log you in, because the cookies is being stored to expire in a particular time. So let's try this code now and you will see what happened. Look at what happened. The code is still the same thing as we used previous. It's still the same code, like the same code that we run when we want to set cookie the other time, when we want to write cookie the other time. I'm not talking about retrieving cookies, I'm not talking about getting cookies, but to write cookies is still the same code as what we use. The only difference is just we declare a variable now and we initialize it with a new date. That is, this new date represents the current date that is on that person's system at that particular time. Is the meaning of new date. The date that is on that system at that particular time is referred to as new date. And we say our var now is equals to new date. So this now represents our dates. We now said now dot set month, that is the date that you are present is our now dot you set the month, that is the date already contain month, already contain year. Okay. So right now it also already contain day. So right now it already have a day, it already have month, it also have year. The now, I'm talking about the now because we said now equals to dates. That is our new date, the date we are presently. But right now, since the date we are presently is the same date we are accessing that software, but right now we now want to maneuver the date that is under the now. We want to set it again. That's why we say now equals to set months. We now say now dot get month. That is, you should get the month that it's under now, and you should add the one to that month, and you should reset it back to the month of now. So let's say for example now the month that is under now, let's say is 9. Right now we are trying to say now dot set month. You should set the month. Now dot get month. The month that is here, when you get it, it will be 9. 9 plus 1, it will be 10. To now set it back to 10. So now the month that is under now before is 9, but now since you have set around, you have add 1 to it, then is now 10. So right now that means this section, this cookie is going to expire approximately 1 month interval. So that means within that 1 month, if you are trying to log into your Gmail, once you press Gmail, it will just be going to directly to your account, directly to your profile. But immediately that 1 month exists, even though the cookie is still on your system, because you have already set an expiry for that cookie. Once it gets into that month, that 1 month, automatically the cookies will be destroyed in your system. And anytime you want to log in back to Gmail, it will ask you to supply a username and a password. So cookies is just used by the site owner so as to have an expiring date for whatever cookies that they want to store on your browser, so that if they set an expiring, like all the cookies that we've been written so far, there is no expiring date. The cookies will continue to be there for life. And whenever I want to log into that kind of site that they set cookies that they do not set an expiring date, I'll continue to be logging with my username and password without any difficulties. It will just be taking you directly to my profile without even having to go to the login area. But if they set an expiring date, anytime I open that site, it will be taking me to my profile page. But the day it expires, automatically. So now they set it to another month interval. So if I want to set it to maybe 5 months, all I just need to do is add this to 5. So once the person log in the first time, the cookies will all restore on the system, and whenever he's trying to check the same website, it will not take the person to the login page. It will just be taking the person to the profile page until 5 months after the cookies will expire. It's just as simple as that. So the same code remain the same code that we use in setting our cookie, but the only difference is now that it's just
that we had the expiry date. So you can try this yourself to still give you the same thing. So it's still the same code as what we used the previous chapter in writing cookies. So what happened? This another thing that we are going to talk about is the delete cookie. Why did they create the delete cookie? Let me just explain to you. Normally, you've always come across sign out, log out, or sign out, log out, all those kind of things. They make use of the delete cookie scripts. And what does it do? What does it did? When you log into a particular site, your cookies is being stored in that site. Your cookies is being stored in that site by the site's web administrator making use of the right cookies. And whenever you are going to that, you are accessing any page in that website. Whenever you are accessing maybe profile page, edit my profile, whenever you are accessing any page, the cookies that is already stored in the browser is the one making you to access those page, because your information is still present, that you are truly, as in your information is still present on that browser. So the browser will recognize that you are the sole user of that particular website. That is, you are the member of that particular site. So it will take you to all the profile page, any other page that is on the website. But when you now mistakenly click on logout, what will happen? Your cookies that is stored under your browser is automatically going to be what? Going to be destroyed. And once the cookies is being destroyed, the browser will no longer see any information to be using in accessing that site. So the browser will just count you as if you are not a member. So it just take you to the login page, because before the browser to be able to access the site or to be able to access your profile, it needs an information. But since you have deleted, the owner of the website has created something that deletes the cookies, they has created a script, a file that deletes the cookies. Automatically your information will no longer be stored inside that browser again, it will have been deleted from it. So the browser will expect you to add new information, so it has to take you to the login page where you are going to enter your information, and that your information is going to be right again. The cookies is going to be right again into that browser, and the browser can be using it to access the other page of that website. So what I'm just trying to say is that when you want a cookies to be destroyed, so that in your web page you want the cookies to be destroyed, so that your website visitor, they will be able to enter their information again in your site, then you make use of the deleting cookies. And this is what happens when you click on logout or sign out in any website. What just happened is that when you click on that logout or sign out button, automatically that sign out is just a link to a page that contains a script that will delete the cookies on your system. So how did web administrator, how did they create this delete cookies script that tends to delete a cookies from your browser? So let's see what happened. So let's run this. Let's start by running this code. So let's copy this. So let's go here. But just note one thing, I've already set a cookies Matthew, and whenever I say get cookie to be giving Matthew. So how do I delete this Matthew? So inside our function 2.html, let's paste the new code and look at what this code does. It contains a button, it contains a text field that you can enter the cookie's name, the cookie you want to delete. It contains the button that you can enter the cookie you want to delete. So it contains a text field that you can enter the cookies you want to delete, and also a button. And that button, whenever you supply the information inside the text feed, and you click on the button, automatically it's going to open a function right cookie. And what does cookie do? What the cookie does is it will just tell you this is new date. This is to create a new date, to create an expiring date. sorry, there is an error with the code. No, let me just recopy the code. Let me recopy it. So let me copy the code and let me paste it. So look at it. There is a submit button, and once I click on this button, on this button, the function is open, and it said dates. What did happen? It subtracts 1 from it. So if normally the dates we set for our cookies, the expiring date is 10 months. So whenever we want to create the delete cookies, what will happen? We are going to minus 10. So if you set a cookies to 1 month when the person log in, so when the person will log out, when you want to create the script that will delete the cookies, you have to set it to minus 1, so that you understand. To when you want to prolong something, you try to add to it, but when you want to decrease the life of something, what will you do? You subtract to it. So the same thing you add to it. If you add 10, then you have to subtract 10 to delete it, and the other things work exactly as you are setting cookies. Just note, the other things work exactly as the other things. So this is just the code. This is the code. So the other thing work exactly like you are setting it. So the test feed that is there is this, and this test feed, when normally the cookies that we've saved is what? We've saved Matthew. So but right now, if we want to delete Matthew, all we need to do is we are going to create a test feed and we'll name it Matthew. We are going to put Matthew inside it, and we'll click on this semi button that opens this on click event and open the function write cookie. And what happened? Then the write cookie, the normal date of the cookies is going to be decreased to 1 month, and if it's decreased automatically, that cookies will no longer exist again, because normally before, when you are writing the cookie, you have already set it to plus 1 month. That is to say, it has to use a month. But right now, when you are deleting it, you set the new date, you've set it by what? Decreasing the date by 1 month. And when you are writing the cookie, you increase it by 1 month, but now you have set it by decreasing it by 1 month. So that means you've automatically deleted the cookie. So that means if you delete the cookie name Matthew, by the time you are trying to check the cookie again, making use of the first scripts that we run inside this chapter, making use of the read cookie, automatically you will not see any cookie again, because the cookie that is there, you have used the delete scripts to delete it. And this is the script that they make use of in all these sites. What is sign up, logouts, all this kind of site. So instead of setting date, you can now set time using same time function. So that means it's possible that you may want to use time here now when you are setting cookie and expiring date. It's possible that instead of months, it's possible you want to use time. You want to increase it by a factor of time. Then instead of now.getMonth, you just use now.getTime. So this time around, it's going to add time. You can add 2 hours to it. You can add 3 hours. You can add 4 hours. So, but for you to know the function of time that we have, like all this getMonth, getYear, all those kind of function, please just refer to the next chapter. I think that should be when we are talking about dates and time. So we'll talk exclusively about all the time methods, like all this get time, get month, set year, set all this time stamp, all this UTC. We talk about GMT, all those other time methods. So but for now, the only thing we use here is just the set month and the get month, and I believe I've already explained this to you. So right now we are going to go to the page redirection. What do we refer to as page redirection? You will have been familiar with this when you are trying to download maybe files in your system. You are trying to download maybe a lot of files. As in, for example, now when you click on the download button, the next thing you tell is that wait for 5 minutes for the site to reload to the site that will make you to download that particular web page. you will wait, and before you know it, immediately that 5 seconds is elapsed, what will happen? You will start seeing your browser redirecting to a different site entirely, and that's what we refer to as redirection. How did they create this with JavaScript is what we are going to learn now. So page redirection, when you click a URL to reach to a page X, but internally you'll be redirected to another page Y. That simply happens because of page redirection. The concept is different from JavaScript page refresh. So right now, let's see what happened. Let's see how page redirection, let's see how it works by seeing this code, by running this code. So let's open function2.html. So look at what happened now. The name of my page, look at it now. The name of my page is function2.html, but I want the situation whereby whenever a user visits this page, function2.html, I want it to be going to this location, yahoo.com. I want it to be going to yahoo.com. So that means whenever any user, whenever they visit my page, function2.html, automatically it just take them directly to http://yahoo.com. So that's when in JavaScript you will make use of the window.location for that. So whenever you press window.location and you press is equals to, so whatever is inside these quotes is going to be the new URL that your page is going to redirect to. So let's run this and see what happens. My section has expired, so let me relog in. So my file is what? Function2.html. So let me save this. Let me save this and refresh. So when you save it, so let's refresh our function2.html page. You discover that, can you see, it will reload back to, this is my site, but it will reload back to facebook.com. Can you see? It will reload back to new location.page.com. That's the reason. The reason is because I did not change this location. So the location I place here is what it reloads to. Even though I'm accessing my site, automatically it's going to reload to whatever I place inside these codes. So right now, let me allow you to go to yahoo.com. Let me see what will happen. So let me save this file. So let me go back to my site. Let me access my site back. So what's the name of the page? The name of the page is function2.html. Function2.html. So let me reload this page. Can you see? It has already loaded function2.html, but now it will redirect back to Yahoo. So that is what referred to as redirection. And this is what happened in your site, in your download site, whereby they will ask you that you want to download this file. When you click on download, they will tell you that wait for 5 minutes, that it will reload, it will go back. Or you will not be wondering that is it that somebody is clicking it that makes it to redirect. It's not as if somebody is clicking it. But when you open that web page, they've already used the code. They've already applied this code. Window.location. So whatever it's found inside this location is the site that it will redirect to. So if you access this page, function2.html, so what will happen is they will now write it there that wait till it go to download site. Immediately it gets to this page and you see wait till download site. So whatever you place inside the window.location is now the new site that is going to redirect. So you don't need to click any button. It will redirect automatically itself. The page will redirect itself automatically to whatever is inside this code, automatically without you clicking on anything. So that's just about page redirection. So this is an example 2. And let me tell you the difference between this example 2 and example 1. This example 1, when you go to your page, function2.html, automatically is going to be redirect, like you see in the previous example. But this one now, when you click, it's going to wait for 10 seconds before it redirects. Like that one, I did not set a time for it, but this one I set a timeout for it. And what it does is this. Let me explain this thing. Normally this is a function, and after the function cannot work without you calling it. So at this function, inside this function, I have a statement window.location. I ask it to redirect to this location. Let me say I ask it to redirect to facebook.com. Let me ask it to redirect to facebook.com. I ask it to redirect to facebook.com.
but I place this inside the function, and this statement cannot run alone except I call this function. And how did I call this function? I call this function here. I use the set timeout function to call the function redirect, so that my page will redirect. And what happened? Set timeout function accepts two parameters. The first parameter is the function that you want to run, and in my own case I want to run function redirect, and this function redirect has only one statement, that you should go to this location, comma. The second parameter that set timeout has is the time. Here now 10,000 means 10 seconds. If I say 20,000, 20,000 means 20 seconds. That means I want to redirect this page in 20 seconds. If I say 2,000, it means 2 seconds. So that means I want to redirect this page in 2 seconds. But let me redirect in 10 seconds. Let me change it to 30 seconds. No, 20 seconds. Let me change it to 20 seconds. Let me save this file. So let me access function2.html. function2.html. Can you see my page has already loaded, but it will wait for 20 seconds and it will redirect. Can you see 20 seconds has not elapsed? But immediately 20 seconds elapsed like this, my page is going to redirect. It's not up to 20 seconds without clicking on anything. Immediately 20 seconds clock, it's going to be redirect. Can you see? It's now redirecting because it's already 20 seconds. And this is what happened in the download side. They will tell you that that you'll be redirected in 10 seconds, in 5 seconds, and before you know it, you are already redirected. So that is what happened. So in this example now, my web page is going to function2 is going to load normally. Function2.html is going to load normally, but immediately immediately it's finished load for 20 seconds. Once it's clocked that 20 seconds like this, it's going to redirect to what? To this location. So the difference between this code and the other code is because that other code I asked it to redirect automatically because I did not set any time frame for it. Can you see? I did not set any time frame for it. I just asked it to go to this location automatically as it's load, as the page finished loading, go to this location. But this other example, I place the location that is going to go, I place it in a function, and I use a set timeout to call the function, and before it can call this function, I ask it to get to 10 seconds first. So when the page load, it will first wait for 10 seconds, and once it waits for that 10 seconds, then it's going to run the function redirect, and what is present inside the function redirect, window.location is present. So that's just the example 3. So but another example that we have is depending on your site browser, the page can redirect depending on the browser. And this is what happens when you access site on your mobile phone. You discover that it's brought a mobile view. Let's say for example now you access facebook.com on your mobile phone. You discover that if you go to facebook.com and you access it on your mobile phone, it just show you a small thing, a small Facebook that it will restructure it. That Facebook is very, very small. You will not be worried that this page is very, very different from the web view, the way Mozilla and your system, the way it access it. How come? What happened is they try to detect the kind of browser you are using. That's why we say example 3 that following is the example to redirect site visitor on different page based on browser. We try to discover the browser they are using. If the person is using a browser that is Internet Explorer, we ask it to go to this location, your web page. So that location will have been created for people that are using Microsoft Internet Explorer alone. We said if the browser name is, because we declare a variable browser name and we call this function navigator.appname. Navigator.appname, it's what it does is that it brings out the apps that person is using. If the person is using this system, whatever browser that person is using, if the person is using browser, Mozilla browser, navigator.appname in JavaScript is just a function that brings out the browser that person is using. If the person is using Mozilla, what you will see here is what the browser name will just be equals to Mozilla. Since you have said browser name equals to navigator.appname, the app name, the navigator.appname, the app name that person is using, if it's Mozilla, then browser name will just be Mozilla. So here we now say if browser is equals to Mozilla, we ask it to go to a location. Now we say if our browser name is equals to Netscape, it should go to this, it should access this web page. Can you see? if the browser name that we are using is Internet Explorer, you should access this web name. We can also add else if browser name equals to Mozilla, you should access this browser. Else, that's it, if it's not Mozilla, if it's not Internet Explorer, if it's not Microsoft Internet Explorer, if it's not Escape, then we accept that is a what? Is a mobile phone that you should go to what? Mobile page. You can also try this. And if you try this and you access it, depending on the kind of browser that you are using, then you are going to see that it will go to the location. But if you are using a browser that is not specified here, like right now we only have the Netscape and we have the Mozilla. If you are using a Microsoft Internet Explorer, if you are not using this kind of browser that is specified here, then you are going to be we are going to be redirected to this location. So, but if I were you, what will happen is I'll go and get the list of all browser name. I'll just say if browser name equals to this, then I'll ask it to go to this location, like that. Else if like that, like that, like that, like that. Then at the end, I'll now say else go to mobile location. That means if the browser is not any of the system browser that you know, then it will go to the else location, and that location will only be for mobile phone. So that means if I'm using Nokia I'm using Nokia phone now, and I'm trying to access a site, I know that it's just jump all this if, because I'm not using a system-based browser. Then it will just go to the location of mobile phone, and that's what happened in Facebook. The location that they place for their mobile phone is http://m.facebook.com. That is a mobile.facebook.com. So they've designed that m.facebook.com. They'll design it in a mobile way that is only accessible by mobile phone. It's only for mobile phones. So if you go to that kind of link, it will be very, very small, because it's created for the windows will be very, very small, because it's created for only mobile phones. So, and this is what happens when you are because you may be worried that why is it that whenever I access my phone with Nigeria Predict, it will bring this kind of interface. But when I access it with maybe Microsoft Word, or maybe I access it with Microsoft Firefox or Micromedia, maybe when I access it with Firefox, it will bring it in a very big way. Why? It's very, very simple. It's because they know they first get a browser name, and later they use if statements to get, if the browser name is this, they ask it to go to a location. And you can now say if the browser name else, at the end of the day, whatever you put inside this else will now be for mobile phones. But note, any other browser that you did not specify around this place, it will also take you to, when you access this site that has this script, it will also take you to this location, even though they are system, they are not mobile phone, because you have not asked them in a if statement. So that is why you have to first get the list of all the browser. And like right now, Mozilla is not here, so for me to add Mozilla, what I will just do is this. Let me copy this code. What I will just do is this. If I've said that if my browser is Netscape, go to netscape.html, go to this location. If my browser is implemented, you should go to this. I can also add another thing. I will add another else if. I'll just say else if my browser name is what? The name of Mozilla is like this, Mozilla Firefox. If my browser name equals to Firefox, go to firefox.html. I can still do like this. But if it's not all the system browser, because everyone I list here, everyone I listed there, all my lists here now, they contain system browser. Else, that means if it's not all this system browser, then go to this location. Then I cannot call this location m.facebook.com. An example, m.facebook.com. So this time around, if it's not all the system browser, it's going to go to this location, and that is what happened in Facebook. So I believe all these things is something you have already come across before, but right now we're just showing you how you can design it yourself. So we can run that code and see what we have. So right now I'm going to go to the alert dialog box. We have been using this ever since we started JavaScript, but right now we are going to teach you we are going to teach you the major types of dialog box that we have. I believe we have been using the alert dialog box in a lot of examples, but right now I will just take you through the type of a lot of dialog box. Alert dialog box is one of them. So right now you are already familiar with alert dialog box, so we are not going to waste our time there. Look at this now. This is alert dialog box, and what we ask it to alert? We ask it to alert warning message. You already know how this works. It's a dialog box.
So if I save this now, let's go to our site, functiontool.html. Can you see warning message? It's an alert. This is an alert dialog box. You're already familiar with that. But just note, we also have the confirmation dialog box. Note this alert dialog box, it only has one button, and that button is used to select or to proceed. Look at it. Look at what I mean by one button. You discover that when the dialog box, when it's run, what happens? You have warning message. The message you write, this is the message you supply here. The message you supply here, warning message, is what you have here. But what do you have here? You have a OK button. So that's why I said that an alert has what? It has only one button. An alert has what? It has only one button. Another thing that we have is the confirmation dialog box. It's work exactly like an alert box, an alert dialog box. But the only difference between confirmation dialog box and alert dialog box is because confirmation dialog box display two buttons. Alert display ordinary one button, which is OK. But confirmation dialog box display two buttons, which is OK and cancel. Cancel is if you don't want to continue, you don't want to proceed. Why OK is if yes. But cancel is if it's not correct. So for example, now let's see what happened now. This is an example of a confirmation dialog box. We create a variable, we name it rectifier. We use the confirmation dialog box to say, do you want to continue? If the user click yes, I want to continue, because I told you that confirmation dialog box contain two things, OK and cancel. So that is why the two method that is contained by confirmation dialog box is OK and cancel. So if the user, if a confirmation dialog box, if you show it here now, they say confirmation dialog box, they say confirm, meaning whenever they want to use confirmation dialog box, they use confirm. They say confirm here. So they said, do you want to continue? So this now, they name it the variable called rectifier. They now say if rectifier is true, that is if the person click, normally the person is going to see a dialog box that will have two buttons. That's why we say, that's why we use confirm here. But if we use alert, that means it only has one button. Because I told you that alert dialog box has only one button, but confirm dialog box has two buttons. So right now, confirm dialog box has two buttons, and the person is going to see, do you want to continue? If the person click on OK button, then this code is going to run. It will now alert user want to continue. But if the person click on the cancel button, it will now run this code. So depending on what the user click, and this is what happens when you are filling a form, a registration form of a site, and maybe you have not filled in a particular data, and the user now click on register. What will happen is going to post a message to you that you have not filled in. No, let's say for example now you are filling a button. Let me know you explain it to you in that way. Let's say you are filling a site, a form in a site now, and you try to fill in some information. What would they ask you? They will tell you that, are you sure that this information is correct? Or let me not use that, let me use other thing that I can use is this. Let's say you have a site now, your profile page, and you are trying to delete something. Maybe you are trying to delete something in your profile. You can't just click delete and that thing will be deleted automatically, because if you delete that thing automatically, there is no way you can revert it in case you made mistake when you are in case you don't want to delete it, because there are sometimes that you may click on something you don't really want to click on. But let's not say you now click on that thing, there should be a box that will display to you that, are you sure you want to delete? So inside that button there will now be OK and cancel. So if you click OK, definitely the system will know that you want to delete, and the system will delete that thing. But if you click on cancel, the system will know that you mistakenly click on that delete. And so when you click on cancel, it's going to know, the system will now know that you mistakenly click on the delete button. So right now the same thing happens here. That's why you can't use an alert, because if you use an alert, whether you want when it gives you that alert prompt that, are you sure you want to delete, there's only one button there, which is OK. So whether you click on it, whether you didn't click on it, it will delete it. That is why in that kind of procedure, when you want to do something that this will delete that, are you sure you want to delete, make sure you use a confirm dialog box, so that inside that confirm dialog box there will be two things. There will be proceed
and there will be OK and there will be cancel. So inside the OK will be have this code. So whenever you click on OK, then whatever you want it to do, if the person is sure that you want to do that, you want to delete that thing, depending on these statements, if the person is sure of these statements, then whatever you want the system to do, you are going to put it here. But if the person is not sure of this statement, whatever you want the system to do, it will be here. So in case of that delete, if I say, are you sure you want to delete? Let's say I say, are you sure you want to delete? I now bring a confirm dialog box. Are you sure you want to delete? If I click on OK, then whatever I want to do will be here. That means, like delete, in the case of delete now, I want to write a code that will delete here. But if I give the user say cancel, then here now I should put something that will tell the user that thank you for not deleting, or I should not put even anything. So when the user click on cancel, you just cancel it, and the main registration page, the main deleting page will still be there. It's just that dialog box that will leave it. But when the user click on OK in dialog box, then this statement here will delete it. So because we have two buttons in the dialog box, so each of the buttons must have a statement that it will perform at the end of us clicking it. So that is why we have these two statements here. So that's about the confirm dialog box. Another thing that we have is the prompt. The prompt dialog box is very useful when you want to pop up a text box. Normally we have ways of creating a text box with HTML. We can also create a prompt dialog box that will prompt us to input something. And how do we do that? Then we are going to use, this is an example. This is an example of prompt dialog text box, and let's see how this works. So here we make use of, we create a variable, we use of var. We now ask you to prompt enter your name. This enter your name is something, it's just like a label, and inside the value of the text, the text box that the prompt you are going to have your name here. So whatever you enter, when you click on OK, then there will be an alert that will say you have entered. If you enter Olaide here, you are going to see you have entered Olaide. So let's run this code and see what's happened. Can you see? This is prompt dialog box. So this prompt dialog box also contains two buttons, just like the confirmation dialog box. It also contains two buttons. But the only difference in this prompt dialog box is that it's brought in after the message that it's write. It's also brought in a text box that you can use to write something. So the message, what is inside it now is a value, and this is where we give it, comma. What is inside here is a label that signifies what this test feed is all about. Just like when you go to any registration page of a site, they will tell you name, then they will put a test feed, email, they will put a test feed. So that name will just signify the label of that test feed, and this name signifies this label of that test feed. And what is present inside it that you need to erase before you write whatever you want to write is what referred to as the value. So you can get that here. So if I write Ola now, so since whatever I write here, they've already stored it as var, and here in the second statement they say alert, you have enter whatever I write I stored in this var is going to bring out. So if I enter Ola now, then the the Ola will have been stored inside variable var that I created. So by the time it's alert, it will now say alert, you have entered Ola. So let me say okay now. Can you see you have entered Ola? So just as simple as that. That's dialog box. So another thing is the void. The void is an important keyword in JavaScript, which can be used as an unary operator that appears before a single operand, which may be of any types. But you can try this yourself. You can just go through the comments, as in the explanation, you understand what we are trying to talk about. You use a form of an alert also, the void alert. You use it in within your HTML code. So look at this now. We have a function get var. We declare three variables a, b, c, d. We say a equals to void, b is equals to 5, c equals to 0. Then we say document.write, and we'll bring it out. Many times you would like to give a button at your web page to print out the content of a web page via an actual printer. So in case you want to print via actual printer, we make use of the window.print. Just know whenever you want to print a web page, know that whenever you want to print a web page, you may write a lot of things. I mean, with normal printer, let's say these are the things that is inside your web page, and you want to print this web page now, that contains this statement. All you just need to do is you have to use the function window.print in your JavaScript now. Window.print function. Can you see? Window.print function. So what I'm trying to say in essence is this: normally when you see any web page now, all you need to do is in your Mozilla just press Ctrl P. It will open the printer dialog box. Sorry. Look at this page now. If I want to print this page now, all I need to do is to press Ctrl P. It will open the printer setup. So I'll be able to select printer here, and whatever I select, I'll just click on print. It will print it. And the same thing happens with Internet Explorer. If I want to print in Internet Explorer, all I need to do is press Ctrl P. It will open the printer box. Can you see? This is the printer box. So I can select any printer I have and click on print. I can select on any printer I have and click on print. But is there any way possible that the web administrator, they can put a printing script inside the web page that they are creating, so that when they launch that web page, immediately without even pressing Ctrl P, it will just open a printer dialog for them that they can use to send their work to document. So instead of saying Ctrl P, automatically as they run the web page, as they load the web page, automatically it's just going to open this dialog box without even them saying Ctrl P, because inside the code of that web page, inside the code that contains that web page, the web administrator, the programmer, they have made use of the window.print. So this window.print is just a functions that prints the content of a web page automatically without even the user having to press Ctrl P on his or her system. So let's run this code now and see what we have. Let's save this file and run it. Let me run it. I don't want to run it in this browser. Let me try to run it in any other browser. Let's run our site. What's our link? This is our link. Let me just copy it. Even if you are running it on your mobile phone that supports printer that have printer, so if you run this now, you will see automatically, can you see, the printer will be, can you see, I'm not the one that press Ctrl P. Immediately I run this site, what will happen? It will just bring out an output that will print, that prints. Then I can now set this to my printer. So that's just to tell you that the window.print is used to send your work to the normal printer. So this is just a function. It's a function. You don't need to declare it. So once you just say window.print, automatically when any user loads that web page, which is function 2.html in this example, is going to open the printer dialog box. So that's just about print. You can run this code and see what happens. This time around, they said on click there is a button, and when you click on the button, automatically an on click event is open, and that on click event, a function will open. And what's the name of the function? Window.print. Although this function, you don't need to declare it, you are not declaring it, but this function is already an inbuilt function, inbuilt JavaScript function. You don't need to declare it. So but we just say window.print, and immediately the user click on that print button, it's going to print out that page to send the page to the normal printer. So that's just about printing. And another way you can print is to go to file, print, just like I stated in this example. You can go to your file and click on print. Can you see? Click on print. But just note, if you are using this method, that means your user, whenever they see a message, they can be using it to be, that's the normal method they use in printing. But the reason I'm teaching you how to use window.print is you may want to create a web page that whether your user like, whether you didn't like, you just want anytime they visit that web page, you should just open a printer to you for them directly. So that kind of web page, you are going to use the window.print. Because if you create a web page that doesn't send directly to printer, a user may wish or may not wish to send to printer. if you I mean look at this web page now and decide to say I don't want to send to printer, another user can look at and say that I want to send this thing to printer, and the person will just click Ctrl P or go to his file and click on print.
The vast virus database has been updated.
And click on print. But as a web administrator, if I want to create a page that automatically, whether my site user, whether they like or whether they didn't like, they just have to print, then I have to use the window.print in that page. And I believe you might have come across this also before. So that's just about that. So another thing I'm going to talk about right now, I've already explained to you about the document.write, so I don't need to waste my time here. So this is just used in printing and outputs, and I believe if you consult the first chapter, then you should be able to understand what this does. So if you say document.write, this is text. By the time you are on this page now, you will see this string as an output. So that's this document.write. We also have the operator, the new operator, and there are a lot of things on the new operator. Is used to create an instance of an object. To create an object, the new operator is followed by a constructor method. That constructor can be object, can be array, can be date. I believe I've already explained all this. When you want to create a in JavaScript, when you want to get a new date, all you do is you create a variable. You can call the variable my date, and you say is equals to what? You use the new operator, then use the method new date. So this serves as the method. This new year staff is an operator. So it's not only dates that they use the new for. When you want to create an array, like the example I made the other time, you make use of the word the new array, and you put them inside this bracket, new array. So it's not only dates that they use this new operator for. They use it for the object, they use it for the array, and they also use it for the dates. So this is an example. So to create an array, I believe you know how to create an array. I've already said that in the previous example. And this time around they said var day equals to new date. But right now, new date, assuming you didn't put any input inside this new date. Let's say you say new date like this. Let's say you say var date day equals to new date. Assuming you didn't put anything inside here now, assuming it's just like this, your day will represent the normal date and time that you have presently on your system. The normal date and time. Your day will be equal. By the time you post out, you use maybe alert or document.write to print out this day, the value of this day. Now you discover that it will be equivalent to the present date and time on your system. But right now, this example is different. We put something inside this date. That is to say that we don't want you to use the normal date. We want to set a normal date for ourselves, and that's why we set it as August 15, 1947. So this time around, by the time you use document.write or you use alert to print out the value of date, what you are going to see there is what? The value of day. What you are going to see there is what? August 15, 1947. But this time around, we are not trying to get the real date in our system, the present date in our system. We are trying to preset the dates to August 15, 1947. So you can try to use alert or document.write to echo this out. So that's just about the new. We also have the object constructor. Let's see what happened to the object constructor. History. Look at this now. This is the object constructor. We create a variable, we call it new object. We call it the variable is book. So right now we say book.subject, we say equals to PS. When we talk about objects, an object can represent, in an example I can say an object represents a human being. A human being has eyes, has nose, has leg. So a single object can have a lot of properties. So like right now, when we create our object variable book equals to new object, instead of creating we want to create different things, we want to create a pairs, we want to create multisim, instead of creating them in an array, it's a waste of time. We can use an object to create it. We can say var book or var anything equals to new object. So this book now, we add subject, it will have author, it will have volumes, different things. So whatever we want to use the object to, we just say book dot subject equals to pairs. So whenever we are calling out the subject, we know that we are referring to what? To pairs. Whenever we are saying book dot author, we say it equals to multisim. Whenever we are calling book dot author, we know that is what? Is multisim. That's what we refer to as an object. So right now, instead of creating this thing in an array, that's why we make use of an object. So like I told you, in the case of human being, a single human being can have eyes, can have leg, can have hair, can have head. So this book now serve an object. So this book has different properties like human being. So that's why we say book. Whenever we want to refer to any of the property of book, we first call book dot any of its property. That's why we say book dot subject equals to pairs, book dot author equals to multisim. So right now that is our JavaScript. So right now we now use the document dot write. We use the document dot write to say, okay, book name is, when you say book dot subject, what do you expect? You expect pairs, because here now you have said store the value of pair inside book dot subject. So whenever you call book dot subject, you call the property of book subject, then you are going to see pairs. Whenever you call this the property author of book, what are you going to see? You are going to see multisim. So instead of using array, you can also use an object. And that is one thing that is good about JavaScript, because in JavaScript you can create an object instance making use of new objects, and that object instance you can associate as many properties to that object instance. So if I create var doc now, I can say var doc equals to new objects. I can say doc dot year is equals to 2. So I know that, okay, dog has 2 years. So I can be creating each of the property of that dog by associating it to what? Dog dot whatever property is equals to whatever is equals to. Like this example now, book new object, book dot the subject of the book equals to pairs, book dot author equals to multisim. I can create another instance of this book again. I can call it book dot pages. I say the page of the book, since it's integer, I can just call it 29 page. So it's also there. So if you save this and you run it now, let's save this. So let me call it this page, book dot pages. So if I save this, let me refresh this. So can you see? So this is the output. So that's just about the object. So this is an example too. So but we make use of function this time around. I believe you should be able to explain this yourself. I believe you shouldn't have any difficulties yourself. Yeah. So here we create a function, we call it books. This function has two parameters, the title and the author. So we say this dot title equals to whatever the person enter here, and this dot author equals to whatever the person enters here. So here now we say var my book equals to new book. But note, this book now is already a function. So but we are trying to use it in form of an object. And I've told you that this book function has two parameters. The first parameter is title, that's why they enter place, and the second parameter equals to multisim, that's why they enter this. So here now that's a document dot write book title is equals to my book. Where do you see my book? Dot title, my book dot title. That is why we said this dot title. Whatever the person enters here, it refers to as the book. Whatever the person enters here refers to as the this.
and whatever it enter here is referred to as the this. So dot title is the title that the person enter here, and what is the person sent in? The person sent in PS. So that means our title is equals to PS. So this dot title will be equals to what? PS. So that's why my book dot title is equals to what? PS. The same thing happens to this. So as simple as that. So you can just run this code and see your output, so you'll be able to understand it. So I believe when we are talking about functions, with function you should be able to understand how we arrive at all this. What you just do is this: instead of saying my book, this is my book now, is what you have here. Instead of saying my book is equals to new objects and declaring it like the previous example, like this example. That's why we try to use this book to create a new instance of an object, and that book is already a function that contains two parameters. So whatever output that we get as this dot title is equals to title, it means my book dot title is equals to the title. This dot author equals to author, it means my book dot author. This, anytime we see this is the instance that they create here, is this variable that is known as this. So that's just on that. So this next example also, you can also try it. I believe with all the explanation that I have made so far, you should be able to get what we did here. So and this other one. So the JavaScript native language, JavaScript has several built-in or native objects. These objects are accessible anywhere in your program and will work the same way in any browser running in any operating system. Here is a list of all important JavaScript native objects: JavaScript number object, the boolean object, the string object, the array object, the date object, the method object, and the reg expression object. I believe most of all these things I've already explained to you. So the only thing is just the properties that we need to talk about. So you may not really understand what we are talking about now, but in the next chapter we'll be able to explain all this, so that we'll be able to understand what we mean by all this. So for the theoretical aspect, please just go through this ebook so that we will have more knowledge about everything we are trying to discuss so far. Please just go through this content, the content of this book. You'll be able to gain the theoretical aspects of everything we are trying to talk about, because it's not everything because of time. It's almost 1 hour plus. So because of time, we'll not be able to take you through everything, but with the knowledge you have, you are going to believe that you'll be able to understand everything we are trying to talk about here when you go through it yourself. And also, if you did the one you didn't understand, in the next 2 chapters that we have, I believe we'll be able to explain it better. By the time you come back to this, with all the explanation of the next chapter, by the time you come back to this, you'll be able to understand it better. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead.